I think compute is going to be the current.
Dude, give me the. It's live. 22,000 people watching. Yeah. Here we go. This is Nvidia. Prepare to be sold trash. Dude, is that a lesbian or a man? Is that a gay guy or a female? Whoa, he's doing it with his hand, dude. Fluid dynamics with his hand. Okay, let's get to the transformative moment, dude. Their stock is going crazy. Is it going up? Let's see. Let's see. Nah, it's not. Dude, it's not going crazy. What are you talking about? Nothing's happening, dude. I thought you meant right now. I know it's been going crazy over the last year. I know it's been going crazy over the last year, but today, it's not doing anything. He's having fun, dude. Large nature model, living art. He had a transformative moment. Let's see.
Our show is about to begin.
Let's do the Star Wars guy. The Star Wars guy face. They start crying. Just the one Nvidia fan. That one Nvidia fan who's like retarded. That one stock investor. He's like a Star Wars fan.
I am a visionary.
You start crying. Oh.
Illuminating galaxies to witness the birth of stars.
The heck? This isn't. I don't care about this, dude. Talk about some AI stuff.
And sharpening our understanding of extreme weather events.
Bro. Flat Earth.
I am a helper.
I am.
Guiding the blind
dude,
through a
imagine being that guy. Imagine being this dude. Get prepared to be mugged, dude. Prepare to be mugged.
And giving voice to those who cannot speak.
Do not make me laugh.
I am a transformer.
I am trans.
Harnessing gravity to store renewable power.
I'm literally crying. Me too, dude.
And paving the way towards unlimited clean energy for us all.
Uh-oh. Shut it down.
I am a trainer. Teaching robots to assist.
It snaps the wrists.
To watch out
Shoot somebody.
for danger.
She's a black person. Shoots him.
And help save lives.
Commits a, just chops off a penis. Trans
I
surgery.
am a healer. Providing a new generation of cures. And new levels of patient care.
Doctor, that I am allergic to penicillin. Is it still okay to take the medications?
Definitely. These antibiotics
No,
don't
you will
contain
die.
penicillin, so it's perfectly safe for you to take them.
I am a navigator. Generating virtual scenarios. to let us safely explore the real world and understand every decision. I even helped write the script.
Ooh,
Breathe life into the words.
that's hack. Everybody knew they were gonna
Muchos
do that.
idiomas. Y escribí la música.
Everybody knew, dude. That was kind of hack to do that.
I am AI. Brought to life by Nvidia, deep learning, and brilliant minds everywhere.
If it was real, they'd have a real AI model. Say hello. They don't say that.
Please welcome to the stage Nvidia founder and CEO Jensen Huang.
I am Asian. Bro, look at Big Chungus.
Welcome to GTC.
What if you start shooting people? What is
I
this?
hope you
Prepare to
realize
die. AI will
this
kill
is
you
not
all.
a concert. You have arrived at a developers conference. There will be a lot of science described.
Ooh, science.
Algorithms, computer architecture, mathematics. I sensed a
Dude, why
very
would you buy AI
heavy
crypto stuff? That's a
weight
scam.
in the room all
There's
of a
no such thing
sudden.
as AI crypto stuff. That's good.
Almost like you were in the wrong place. No conference in the world is there a greater assembly of researchers from such diverse fields of science, from climate tech to radio sciences, trying
To
to figure
VR
out
chat.
how to use AI to robotically
to
control
girlfriends, AI
miners
girlfriends.
for next generation 6G radios, robotics, self-driving cars, even artificial intelligence. Even artificial intelligence. Everybody's. First, I noticed a sense of relief there all of a sudden. Also, this conference is represented by some amazing companies. This list, this is not the attendees.
My dad co-invented 5G. He's not. You did not. Your
These
dad
are
did
the
not co-invent 5G,
presenters.
dude.
And what's amazing is this. If you take away all of my friends, close friends, Michael Dell is sitting right there, in the IT industry. All of the friends I grew up with in the industry. If you take away that list, this is what's amazing. These are the presenters of the non-IT
promise you, dude,
industries
you're just
using
lying, dude. You're just
accelerated
retarded.
computing
You're just a
to
liar.
solve
You're just a
problems that
retarded
normal
liar.
Computers can't. It's represented
It's what?
in life sciences, healthcare, genomics, transportation, of course, retail, logistics, manufacturing, industrial. The gamut of industries represented is truly amazing.
50,000 people
You're not
watching,
here to
dude.
pretend only, you're here to present, to talk about your research. $100 trillion of the world industries is represented in this room today. This is absolutely amazing. There is absolutely something happening. There is something going on. The industry is being transformed, not just ours. Because the computer industry, the computer is the single most important instrument of society today. Fundamental transformations in computing affects every industry. But how did we start? How did we get here? I made a little cartoon for you. Literally, I drew this. In one page, this is NVIDIA's journey. Started in 1993. This might be the rest of the talk. 1993, this is our journey. We were founded in 1993. There are several important events that happened along the way. I'll just highlight a few. In 2006, CUDA which has turned out to have been a revolutionary computing model. We thought it was revolutionary then. It was going to be an overnight success, and almost 20 years later, it happened. We saw it coming. 2 decades later. In 2012, AlexNet, AI, and CUDA made first contact.
First contact.
2016, recognizing the importance of this computing model, we invented a brand new type of computer. We call it DGX-1. 170 teraflops in this supercomputer. 8 GPUs connected together for the very first time. I hand-delivered the very first DGX-1 to a startup located in San Francisco.
Nvidia LPU, that's what I'm hoping for, dude.
AI.
If there is one, I'm gonna buy it right on stream.
DGX-1
Quantum
was the
computing
world's
demons,
first AI
bro.
supercomputer. Remember, 170 teraflops. 2017, the transformer arrived.
That transformer.
2022, ChatGPT captured the world's imaginations, have people realize the importance and the capabilities of artificial intelligence. And 2023, generative AI emerged, and a new industry begins. Why?
Let's see what
Why is it a new
they're
industry?
offering,
Because the
dude.
software never existed before. We are now producing software, using computers to write
I
software.
should sell all my crypto right
producing
now and buy as
software
many as I
that
can.
never existed before.
And resell
It's
it.
a brand new category. It took share from nothing.
Easy money.
It's a brand new category. And the way you produce this software is unlike anything we've ever done before. In data centers, generating tokens, producing floating point numbers at very large scale, as if in the beginning of this last industrial revolution, when people realized that you would set up factories, apply energy to it, and this invisible, valuable thing called electricity came out, AC generators. And 100 years later, 200 years later, we are now creating new types of electrons, tokens, using infrastructure we call factories, AI factories, to generate this new, incredibly valuable thing called artificial intelligence. A new industry has emerged. Well, we're going to talk about many things about this new industry. We're going to talk about how we're going to do computing next. We're going to talk about the type of software that you build because of this new industry, the new software, how you would think about this new software. What about applications in this new industry?
Oh, my
maybe
science.
What's next? And how can we start preparing today for what is about to come next?
Yeah, what is this we're
Well,
doing, dude?
but before I start,
Yeah, can we
show
do
you
secret computing?
the soul of Nvidia. The soul of
It's just
our
a picture of Satan, dude.
at the intersection
It's just a picture of Satan himself.
computer graphics, physics,
Dude,
and artificial
that would be
intelligence,
sick. That would be messed up.
all intersecting inside a computer
That would be messed up, dude.
in Omniverse, in a virtual world simulation. Everything we're going to show you today, literally everything we're going to show you today, is a simulation, not animation. It's only beautiful because it's physics. The world is beautiful.
The world is
It's only
beautiful.
amazing because it's being animated with robotics. It's being animated with artificial intelligence. What you're about to see all day is completely generated, completely simulated in Omniverse, and all of it, what you're about to enjoy, is the world's first concert where everything is homemade. Everything is homemade. You're about to watch some home videos. So sit back and enjoy yourself.
All right, let's find out. Bro, they can do tech stuff very fast. Dude, that's just Unity, dude. It's just Unity. Who cares, bro? Who cares about Unity? I don't care about Unity. Show me AI stuff, okay? Okay, dude, I don't care. I don't care. By the way, I'm working on getting John into an audiobook form, but I have to upload a Kindle publishing file, and I gotta publish it as an ebook first on Amazon, and then I can publish it. I can link it to the audio thing. We're gonna have the same guy who did It Is a Secret, Shazam Watkins, very good author, very good author. Read the Fool's Renaissance, but also very good speech, much better at speaking than I am. He's going to be doing he did the narration, so we're finally getting that done. Amazon's going to give me the runaround, so now I'm going to upload the actual Kindle file, and then it'll be very easy to link it, hypothetically. Okay, I don't care, dude. Warp. Dude, this is, once again, who cares? That's not high tech. Who cares, dude? Show me, like, some real AI stuff, dude.
God, I love Nvidia.
Ah, me too. What is that? Is that supposed to be cathartic? Was that supposed to be cathartic, dude?
The tipping point.
Is that supposed to be cathartic for me?
Computing has run out of steam. We need another way of doing computing so that we can continue to scale, so that we can continue to drive down the cost of computing, so that we can continue.
God, I love computing. Kill yourself.
While being sustainable. Accelerated computing is a dramatic speed up over general purpose computing. And in every single industry we engage, and I'll show you many, the impact is dramatic. But in no industry is it more important than our own. The industry of using simulation tools to create products.
Are we in a simulation?
In this industry, it is not about driving down the cost of computing, it's about driving up the scale of computing. We would like to be able to simulate the entire product that we do completely in full fidelity, completely digitally, in essentially what we call digital twins. We would like to design it, build it, simulate it, operate it completely digitally. In order to do that, we need to accelerate an entire industry. And today, I would like to announce that we have some partners who are joining us in this journey to accelerate their entire ecosystem so that we can bring the world into accelerated computing. But there's a bonus. When you become accelerated, your infrastructure
accelerate me.
Is CUDA GPUs.
Make me accelerated.
When that happens, it's exactly the same infrastructure for generative AI.
Make me accelerated.
And so I'm just delighted to announce several very important partnerships. They're some of the most important companies in the world. ANSYS does engineering simulation for what the world makes. We're partnering with them to CUDA accelerate the ANSYS ecosystem, to connect ANSYS to the Omniverse digital twin. Incredible. The thing that's really great is that the install base of NVIDIA GPU accelerated systems are all over the world, in every cloud, in every system, all over enterprises. And so the applications they accelerate will have a giant installed base to go serve. End users will have amazing applications, and of course, system makers and CSPs will have great customer demand. Synopsys. Synopsys is NVIDIA's literally first software partner. They were there in the very first day of our company. Synopsys revolutionized the chip industry with high-level design. We are going to CUDA accelerate Synopsys. We're accelerating computational lithography, one of the most important applications that nobody's ever known about. In order to make chips, we have to push lithography to the limit. Nvidia has created a library, a domain-specific library, that accelerates computational lithography incredibly. Once we
Dude, what is this man even talking about? I'm trying to publish an audiobook here.
Who is announcing today that they're going to go into production with Nvidia cuLitho. Once it's software defined and accelerated, the next step is to apply generative AI to the future of semiconductor manufacturing, pushing geometry even further.
Push me to the edge.
Builds the world's essential EDA and SDA tools. We also use Cadence. Between these three companies, Ansys, Synopsys, and Cadence, we basically build Nvidia. Together, we are CUDA accelerating Cadence. They're also building a supercomputer out of Nvidia GPUs so that their customers could do fluid dynamic simulation at 1,000 times scale. Basically, a wind tunnel in real time. Cadence Millennium, a supercomputer with Nvidia GPUs inside. A software company building supercomputers. I love seeing that. Building Cadence co-pilots together. Imagine a day when Cadence could, Synopsys, Ansys, tool providers would offer you AI co-pilots so that we have thousands and thousands of co-pilot assistants helping us design chips, design systems. And we're also going to connect Cadence Digital Twin Platform to Omniverse. As you can see the trend here, we're accelerating the world's CAE, EDA, and SDA so that we could create our future in digital twins. And we're going to connect them all to Omniverse, the fundamental operating system for future digital twins. One of the industries that benefited tremendously from scale, and you all know this one very well, large language models. Basically, after the transformer was invented, we were able to scale large language models at incredible rates, effectively doubling every 6 months. Now, how is it possible that by doubling every 6 months, that we have grown the industry, we have grown the computational requirements so far? And the reason for that is quite simply this. If you double the size of the model, you double the size of your brain, you need twice as much information to go fill it. And so every time you double your parameters,
let me add my stupid book, dude.
You also have to appropriately increase your training token count. The combination of those two numbers becomes the computation scale you have to support. The latest, the state-of-the-art OpenAI model is approximately 1.8 trillion parameters. 1.8 trillion parameters required several trillion tokens to go train. So a few trillion parameters on the order of, a few trillion tokens on the order of, when you multiply the two of them together, approximately 30, 40, 50 billion, quadrillion floating point operations per second. Now we just have to do some CO math right now, just hang with me. So you have 30 billion quadrillion. A quadrillion is like a peta.
A what
so
now?
If you had a petaflop GPU,
If you had a petaflop,
you would need 30
interesting
billion seconds
interesting.
to go compute, to go train that model.
Interesting Freudian slip there, huh?
1,000 years. Well, 1,000 years, it's worth it. I'd like to do it sooner, but it's worth it. Which is usually my answer when most people tell me, hey, how long is it going to take to do something? So we get 20 years. It's worth it. But can we do it next week?
Bowden ain't looking too hot. Looks like I was correct.
And so, 1,000 years, 1,000
By the way,
years,
guys, it would seem my prediction's 100% correct.
Our bigger GPU.
It would seem I got out before it crashed.
much
Looks like
bigger
I'm the winner.
We recognized this early on.
I would say load up in a week.
That the answer is to put a whole bunch of GPUs together. And of course, innovate a whole bunch of things along the way, like inventing tensor cores, advancing NVLink so that we could create essentially
make an LPU, dude.
GPUs,
sell an LPU.
And connecting them all together with amazing networks from a company called Mellanox, InfiniBand, so that we could create these giant systems.
I don't care about
And
this,
so
dude.
DGX
I want a
was
small
our first
system.
version, but it wasn't the
Okay?
last.
I want Grok AI on my
Supercomputers
computer.
all the way, all along
I want a
the way.
box that I can pay 30 grand and
In
get Grok AI locally.
2021, we had Selene, 4,500 GPUs or so. And then in 2023, we built one of the largest AI supercomputers in the world. It's just come online, EOS. And as we're building these things, we're trying to help the world build these things. And
Why
in
is it
order
so
to help the
glitchy?
world build these things, we got
Is
to
it
build
their
first.
problem? I think so.
We build the chips, the systems, the networking,
65,000 people
software
watching.
necessary to do
Wow.
this. You should see these systems.
Dude, subscribe.
Imagine writing a piece of software that runs across the entire system, distributing the computation across thousands of GPUs, but inside are thousands of smaller GPUs. Millions of GPUs to distribute work across all of that and to balance the workload so that you can get the most energy efficiency, the best computation time, keep your costs down. And so those fundamental innovations is what got us here. And here we are, as we see the miracle of ChatGPT emerge in front of us, we also realize we have a long ways to go. We need even larger models. We're going to train it with multimodality data, not just text on the internet, but we're going to train it on text and images and graphs and charts. And just as we learn watching TV. And so there's going to be a whole bunch of watching video so that these models can be grounded in physics, understands that an arm doesn't go through a wall. And so these models would have common sense by watching a lot of the world's video combined with a lot of the world's languages. They'll use things like synthetic data generation, just as you and I do. When we try to learn, we might use our imagination to simulate how it's going to end up, just as I did when I was preparing for this keynote. I was simulating it all along the way. I hope it's going to turn out as well as I had it in my head.
This is live, dude. I'm losing. You're losing me, bro. You've lost me.
As I
Show
was
me some
simulating
facts.
how this keynote was going to turn out, somebody did say that another performer did her performance completely on a treadmill so that she could be in shape to deliver it with full energy. I didn't.
Sounds try hard, dude.
If I get a little winded about 10 minutes into this, you know what happened. And
Come on, dude.
So where were we? We're sitting here using synthetic data generation. We're going to use reinforcement learning. We're going to practice it in our mind. We're going to have AI working with AI, training each other, just like student and teacher debaters. All of that is going to increase the size
audio
of our
cutting out
model.
is really
It's
pissing
gonna
me
increase
off.
the
It's
amount
really
of
starting to piss me off,
data
honestly.
that we have, and
It's just
we're gonna
literally
have to
pissing me
build
off. I'm getting real
even
mad.
bigger GPUs. Hopper is fantastic, but we need bigger GPUs. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to a very, very big GPU. Named after David Blackwell,
Dude, I don't care.
mathematician, game theorists, probability. We thought it was a perfect name. Blackwell, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this.
All right. Show me. Here we go. The largest chip physically possible. Two largest dies possible, unified as one GPU. Twice the size of massive leap in compute. 128 billion more something. Dude, why is it... It's like... Alright, give me back. Or whatever, I can't even... It's too fast to even see, dude. 384... 900 gigabytes. I can't read that fast, dude. 40 petaflops of AI performance. Pedophiles. 80 petaflops of pedophiles. God, I can't read this. It's too fast, dude. 80 gigabytes of memory bandwidth. Bro. $18 compute trays in a rack, 36 gray CPUs and 72 Blackwell GPUs. Blackwell multi-GPU Fabric 2 NVLink switch chips, 8 ports at one. Dude, I can't 1.8 terabytes per second. So I can buy this for my home computer. Bro. I can buy this. 30 terabytes of HBM3E, one giant CUDA GPU. Quantum InfiniBand switch, 800 gigabytes of throughput. Quantum something. 5x higher bandwidth capacity, 14 teraflops something. Cooling. Liquid cooled. 8 GB, 200 NV. Dude, I can't. It's like literally, I can't even read the whole thing as fast as they show it. Why not like legit let it just like sit, bro? That's cool. Computer regenerate my foreskin. Nice. A Nvidia Blackwell platform for trillion parameter scale generative AI. Yeah, Moore's Law, dude. Chad move.
Blackwell is not a chip. Blackwell is the name of a platform. People think we make GPUs, and we do, but GPUs don't look the way they used to. Here's the if you will, the heart of the Blackwell system.
He's losing it.
Inside the company.
Give him more drugs. Biden's losing it. Biden's losing it.
This.
Stuttering.
This is Blackwell sitting next to, this is the most advanced GPU in the world in production today.
Nope. I saw it, dude.
This is Hopper.
I saw it already.
Hopper changed the world.
Hi, Hopper.
This is Blackwell.
All right. You screwed it up, dude. He's about to go Elliot Rodgers on the crowd after messing that up.
It's okay, Hopper.
This is an old video? No, it's not, dude. 70,000 views.
You're very good. Good boy.
Bro, he's been on the AI too long. Too far, dude. Creepy.
208 billion transistors.
Forget Caleb Hammer. We gotta investigate this guy.
I can see there's a small line between two dies. This is the first time two dies have abutted like this together.
Bruh.
In such a way
Riz pass failed. Riz check failed.
I think it's one chip. There's 10 terabytes of data between it. 10 terabytes per second. So that these two sides of the Blackwell chip have no clue which side they're on.
This talks a month old. All this hardware is obviously trash.
No cache issues.
You're confusing me.
It's just one giant chip. And so when we were told that Blackwell's ambitions were beyond the limits of physics, the engineer said, so what?
So what?
So this is what happened. And so this is the Blackwell chip, and it goes into two types of systems. The first one is form-fit-function compatible to Hopper. And so you slide on Hopper and you push it. That's the reason why one of the challenges of ramping is going to be so efficient. There are installations of Hoppers all over the world, and they could be the same infrastructure, same design, the power, the electricity, the thermals, the software, identical, push it right back. And so this is a Hopper version for the current HGX configuration. And this is what the second Hopper looks like this. Now this is a prototype board, and Janine, could I just borrow? Ladies and gentlemen, Janine Paul.
That's Janine Paul.
And so this is a fully functioning board.
Paul named Janine, dude.
Just be careful here. This right here is, I don't know, $10 million.
Shoot it. Smash it, dude. Smash it. Show you don't care.
The second one's 5. It gets cheaper after that, so any customers in the audience, it's okay.
I can't
All right,
afford
but
that, dude.
This one's quite expensive. This is
I didn't
the
make
big
that
one.
much money.
And the way it's going to go to production is like this one here, okay? And so you're going to take this. It has 2 Blackwell.
That's funny, glue sniffer.
Two Blackwell chips and 4 Blackwell dies connected to a Grace CPU. The Grace CPU has a super fast chip-to-chip.
Smash it. If you're really an
What's
alpha
amazing
male,
is this
smash it. Maintain
computer
alpha frame.
It's the first of its kind where this much computation, first of all,
Maintain
fits
alpha
into
frame, smash it, and say, I don't care
this
about money.
small
I'm
place.
rich. You're broke.
Second,
I
it's
would buy
memory
your
coherent.
product then.
They feel like they're just one big happy family working on one application together.
All right, show me a demo.
Everything is coherent within it.
Show me an AI chatbot.
Just the amount of,
Can this do AI chatbot?
you saw the numbers. There's a lot of terabytes.
Can this deny the
terabytes,
Holocaust?
terabytes.
Can this board
This is
say
real.
the N-word?
This is a.
That's what I want to know. Does this come with the N-word capability?
Things on here. There's
Can this deny the Holocaust?
NVLink on top, PCI Express on the bottom. On your, which one is mine and your left? One of them, it doesn't matter. One of them is a CPU chip-to-chip link. It's
Holy
mine,
incel, dude.
depending on which
No
side.
Riz. Where's his Riz,
Trying to
dude?
sort that out, and I just kind of doesn't matter.
Where's the Riz? That's what. There's no Riz on this board.
Hopefully, it comes plugged in. So. Okay, so this is the
Where's the, yeah, I'm getting the ick.
system.
It's giving ick. It's giving incel. It's giving Elliot Rogers, dude.
But there's more.
And how did this? Yeah, how does
So
it help us
turns
win the
out-
race war, dude?
It turns out
Can this help me win the race
all
war?
of the specs is fantastic, but we need a whole.
Does this
lot of
generate
features.
AI porn?
In order to push the limits beyond, if you will,
Get
the
rid of
limits
this.
of physics.
Get rid of this short stack. When I ordered
We
a
would
short
like to
stack
always
gobs, and I
get
didn't
a
order
lot
this
more
guy,
X
dude.
factors.
I didn't mean this when I
And
said
so
it was
one of the
short
things that we
stack
did was
gobs.
we invented another transformer.
What's his height? Is he
another
4'7"?
transformer engine. The
This
second
guy's under
generation.
6 foot, dude.
It has the ability to dynamically and automatically rescale and recast
Where's the T? Somebody spilled a T on this
numerical
incel.
formats to a
Somebody
lower
post the chat
precision
logs.
whenever it
Cancel
can.
this nigga.
Remember, artificial intelligence is about probability.
This isn't the short
so
stack
we
gobs that
have,
I ordered.
1.7, approximately 1.7 times approximately 1.4.
Bring out the
is gonna be
K-pop.
approximately
Bring out the
something else.
K-pop dancers,
Does that
dude.
make sense? And so
Where's the
the
K-pop
ability
dancers?
for the mathematics to retain the precision and the range necessary in that particular stage of the pipeline.
Imagine if
super
Pearson ran
important.
up on stage and
so
shot him for
this
being
is-
a
it's not just
Satanist.
about the fact that we designed a smaller
Pearson
ALU.
ran up on
It's
stage
not-
and murdered him
it's
for not
quite
making
that
sacred
simple.
art.
You've got to figure out when
For being
you can use
demonic.
that
Pearson runs up with a
across
gun and shoots him in the head.
computation that is
For being demonic.
thousands of GPUs.
They call that,
It's running for weeks and weeks on weeks, and you
No.
want to make sure that the training job is going to converge. And so this new transformer engine, we have a 5th generation NVLink.
The convert zeal. Pearson runs
now
up on
twice
stage
as
and
fast as Hopper,
stabs
but very
the
importantly,
stabs the Asian
it
guy
has
to death.
computation in the network. And the reason for that is because when you have so many different GPUs working together, we have to share our information with each other. We have to synchronize and update each other. And every so often, we have to reduce the partial products and then rebroadcast out the partial products, the sum of the partial products, back to everybody else. And so there's a lot of what is called all reduce and all to all and all gather. It's all part of this area of synchronization and collectives so that we can have GPUs working with each other. Having extraordinarily fast links and being able to do mathematics right in the network allows us to essentially amplify even further. So even though it's 1.8 terabytes per second, it's effectively higher than that. And so it's many times that of Hopper. The likelihood of a supercomputer running for weeks on end is approximately 0. And the reason for that is because there's so many components working at the same time. The statistic, the probability of them working continuously is very low. And so we need to make sure that whenever there is we checkpoint and restart as often as we can, but if we have the ability to detect a weak chip or a weak node early, we can retire it and maybe swap in another processor. That ability to keep the utilization of the supercomputer high, especially when you just spent $2 billion building it, is super important. And so we put in a RAS engine, a reliability engine that does 100% self-test, in-system test of every single gate, every single bit of memory on the Blackwell chip and all the memory that's connected to it. It's almost as if we shipped with every single chip its own advanced tester that we test our chips with. This is the first time we're doing this. Super excited about it. Secure AI. Only this conference do they clap for RAS. The secure AI. Obviously, you've just spent hundreds of millions of dollars creating a very important AI. And the code, the intelligence of that AI is encoded in the parameters. You want to make sure that on the one hand, you don't lose it. On the other hand, it doesn't get contaminated. And so we now have the ability to encrypt data, of course, at rest, but also in transit and while it's being computed. It's all encrypted.
Does it mean my cards I bought last month?
And when we're computing it, it is in a trusted.
Did I take an L?
Trusted environment, trusted engine environment. And the last thing is decompression. Moving data in and out of these nodes.
Computer, be secure forever.
Compute is so fast becomes really essential. And so we've put in a high line speed compression engine and effectively moves data 20 times faster in and out of these computers. These computers are so powerful and there's such a large investment, the last thing we want to do is have them be idle. And so all of these capabilities are intended to keep Blackwell fed and as busy as possible. Overall, compared to Hopper, it is 2.5 times the FP8 performance per chip.
Be a little more exciting, dude.
It also has this new format called FP6, so that even though the computation speed is the same, the bandwidth that's amplified because of the memory, the amount of parameters you can store in the memory is now amplified. Boom. FP4 effectively doubles the throughput.
Boom.
This is vitally important for inference. One of the things that is becoming very clear is that whenever you use a computer with AI on the other side, when you're chatting with the chatbot, when you're asking it to review or make an image, remember, in the back is a GPU generating tokens.
Boom.
Some people call it inference, but it's more appropriately generation. The way that computing is done in the past was retrieval. You would grab your phone, you would touch something, some signals go off, basically an email goes off to some storage somewhere. There's pre-recorded content, somebody wrote a story or somebody made an image or somebody recorded a video. That pre-recorded content is then streamed back to the phone and recomposed in a way based on a recommender system to present the information to you. You know that in the future, the vast majority of that content will not be retrieved. And the reason for that is because that was pre-recorded by somebody who doesn't understand the context, which is the reason why we have to retrieve so much content. If you can be working with an AI that understands the context, who you are, for what reason you're fetching this information, and produces the information for you just the way you like it, the amount of energy we save, the amount of networking bandwidth we save, the amount of wasted time we save will be tremendous. The future is generative, which is the reason why we call it generative AI, which is the reason why this is a brand new industry. The way we compute is fundamentally different. We created a processor for the generative AI era.
I'm feeling the euphoria.
And one of the most important parts of it is content token generation. We call it, this format is FP4. Well, that's a lot of computation. 5x the token generation, 5x the inference capability.
It's like a music concert for nerds.
Hopper seems.
This is like a Taylor Swift concert for nerds, dude. This is awesome.
But why stop
This is
there?
like a concert for. This is like a concert if you're a nerd
The
guy. If
answer
you're a
is
tech
not
nerd,
enough, and I'm going to show you why.
this is like
I'm gonna
tech
show
porn.
you
Our
why.
tech porn. This is like
we would like
a
to have a
concert. This is like a
bigger
Taylor
GPU,
Swift
even
concert
bigger
for
than
a
this
high
one.
IQ person.
And so we decided to scale it.
If you understand what's going on right
First, let me
now,
just tell you how we've scaled.
this is like a Rihanna
Over the
concert.
course of the last 8 years, we've increased computation by 1,000 times. 8 years, 1,000 times.
Dude, it's
Remember
me.
back in
I'm the
good old
AI,
days of
dude.
Moore's law. It was 2x, well, 5x
Ooh.
every, 10x every 5 years. That's easiest math. 10x every 5 years.
This is all AI, dude.
100 times.
This whole
every
video
10
is
years.
AI.
100 times every 10 years. In the middle, in the heyday,
It says 20,000 teraflops.
PC revolution.
FP4.
100 times every 10 years. In the last 8 years, we've gone 1,000 times. We have 2 more years to go. And so that puts it in perspective. The rate at which we're advancing computing is insane, and it's still not fast enough, so we built another chip. This chip is just an incredible chip. We call it the NVLink switch. It's 50 billion transistors. It's almost the size of Hopper all by itself. This switch chip has 4 NVLinks in it.
I tell you, if you have
Each
cards,
1.8
you
terabytes per
have
second.
GPUs available to buy, dude.
And it has computation in it, as I mentioned. What is this chip for? If we were to build such a chip,
This is like Fortnite for
we can
Redditors.
have every single GPU talk to every other GPU
In the world.
at full speed at the same time. That's insane.
They need to have planted people to do clapping. They need like 100 or 200 people in the crowd to clap when there's clap lines to
It
get other people
doesn't
to
even
clap.
make sense. But if you could do that,
If they
you
did
can
that,
find
then
a
it
way to
would
do
be a
that
lot better.
And build a system to do that. That's cost effective. That's cost effective.
Yeah, but Candace Owens is interesting. We'll watch that after this.
That we
We'll
can
watch
have
that
all
after
these
this.
GPUs
This is more interesting.
connect over a
This is the future.
coherent
Rabbis of the
link
past. This is
so
the
that
future.
They effectively are one giant GPU. Well, one of the great inventions in order to make it cost effective is that this chip has to drive copper directly. The SerDes of this chip is just a phenomenal invention so that we could do direct drive to copper. And as a result, you can build a system that looks like this.
Wow. I'd get that. I'd buy that.
Now this system is kind of insane. This is one DGX. This is what a DGX looks like now. Remember, just 6 years ago, it was pretty heavy, but I was able to lift it. I delivered the first DGX-1 to OpenAI, and the researchers there. It's on, the pictures are on the internet, and we all autographed it. If you come to my office, it's autographed there. It's really beautiful. But
Dude, this is not an old video.
this
Stop
DGX, this
negating me, dude.
DGX,
It says 68,000
that
people
DGX,
watching.
by the way, was 170 teraflops. If you're not familiar with the numbering system, that's 0.17 petaflops.
Peta what?
So this is 720.
Peta what?
The first one I delivered to OpenAI was 0.17. You could round it up to 0.2, won't make any difference. And back then it was like, wow, 30 more teraflops. And so this is now 720 petaflops, almost an exaflop.
720
machine,
pedophiles
and
are in this
the world's
graphics
first
card.
1 exaflops machine in one rack.
So believe me, Stable Diffusion will work quite well for our customer base.
Just
You
so
fit
you know,
720
there are only
pedophiles
a
to draw
couple,
everything
2,
you
3
want.
exaflops machines on the planet as we speak. And so this is an exaflops AI system in one single rack. Well, let's take a look at the back of it. So this is what makes it possible. That's the back. That's the
That's
the back.
cool.
The DGX
Came out of the floor. That's cool,
NVLink
dude.
spine. 130 terabytes per second goes through the back of that chassis. That is more than the aggregate bandwidth of the internet.
Dude. That doesn't sound right. So I can just double the internet
We
speed?
can basically send everything to everybody within a second. And so we have 5,000 cables, 5,000 NVLink cables.
That one is 1,000
2
petaflops.
miles.
This model has 7,000 petaflops.
Now, this is the amazing thing. If we had to use optics,
And they're
we would
all
have
in
to
this
use
machine.
transceivers and retimers, and those transceivers and retimers alone would have cost 20,000
This guy's a creep, bro.
watts,
He's trying to generate porn to people.
2 kilowatts of just
Coomer
transceivers
unleashed.
alone, just to drive the NVLink spine. As a result, we did it completely for free over NVLink switch, and we were able to save the 20 kilowatts for computation.
That means there's child
This
porn on
entire
that
rack is
machine, dude.
120
We can send all the child
kilowatts,
porn on the
20
internet.
kilowatts makes a huge difference.
And we've tried.
It's
And we
liquid
can send
cooled.
all the child porn
What
that
goes
exists on the
in is
internet
25 degrees
across
C,
these
about
cables in
room
under a
temperature.
second.
What comes out is 45 degrees C, about your jacuzzi.
Dude's been sending pedophile
room
material
temperature
back and
goes in,
forth.
jacuzzi comes out.
Good
2
use of
liters per
technology, by the
second.
way. Really the future of technology, dude. Says it all.
We could sell a peripheral. $600,000 parts.
600? Interesting.
Somebody used to say,
Six.
you guys
Interesting
make
number.
GPUs, and we do.
That means it's
But
the end,
this is what
the
a
end of
GPU looks like
pedophiles.
to me. When somebody says GPU, I see this. 2 years ago, when I saw a GPU, it was the HGX. It was 70 pounds, 35,000 parts. Our GPUs now are 600,000 parts and 3,000 pounds. 3,000 pounds.
I can't put that on my
3,000
computer,
pounds.
dude.
That's kind of like the weight of a
Car.
carbon fiber Ferrari.
Dude, I can't put that in my
I don't know if
apartment.
that's a useful metric, but
How could I use that, dude? If that's 3,000
I
pounds.
feel it. I feel it. I get it.
He's,
get that.
okay, he's risen
Now
up.
that you
He's,
mentioned that, I
he's
feel it.
doing Dread Game, dude. That's good.
I
He
don't know
has, a,
what's 3,000 pounds.
he has a Ferrari, dude.
Okay,
I
so
like it.
3,000 pounds.
Okay, this guy's
one
alpha.
and a
Never
half.
mind. Alpha
So it's
man.
not quite an elephant.
Alpha.
So this is what a DGX looks like. Now let's see what it looks like in operation. Okay, let's imagine how do we put this to work and what does that mean? Well, if you were to train a GPT model, 1.8 trillion parameter model, it took apparently about 3 to 5 months or so with 25,000 amperes. If we were to do it with Hopper, it would probably take something like 8,000 GPUs, and it would consume 15 megawatts. 8,000 GPUs and 15 megawatts. It would take 90 days, about 3 months. And that would allow you to train something that is, this groundbreaking AI model. And this is obviously not as expensive as anybody would think, but it's 8,000 GPUs. It's still a lot of money. And so 8,000 GPUs, 15 megawatts. If you were to use Blackwell to do this, it would only take 2,000 GPUs. 2,000 GPUs, same 90 days, but this is the amazing part. Only 4 megawatts of power. So from 15, yeah, that's right. And that's
So it
our
takes
goal.
90 days?
Our goal is to continuously drive down the cost.
Dude, it takes 90
and the
days still?
energy,
It should
the
just-
direct
it's basically a
proportion to the
day.
cost and energy associated with the computing so that we can continue to expand and scale up the computation that we have to do to train the next generation models. Well, this is training. Inference, or generation, is vitally important going forward. Probably some half of the time that NVIDIA GPUs are in the cloud these days, it's being used for token generation. They're either doing Copilot this or ChatGPT that, or
the Nobel Prize
Yo.
for this guy goes to us again.
Thank you.
Wow.
55,300 sent $50.
What is considered holy or not holy.
Dude, we're going to watch that.
When the moment you make
Thank you. But we're going to watch it after this. This is more important, okay? We will watch that, but this is more important. This is history.
Of computing we call inference.
Thank you. I appreciate
But
it.
inference is
Especially since nobody else
hard
sends me money anymore.
for large language models because these large language models have several
Cheers.
properties.
Thank you very
One,
much.
They're
Cheers.
very large. And so it doesn't fit on one GPU. Imagine Excel doesn't fit on one GPU, And imagine some application you're running on a daily basis doesn't fit on one computer. Like a video game doesn't fit on one computer. And most, in fact, do. And many times in the past, in hyperscale computing, many applications for many people fit on the same computer. And now, all of a sudden, this one inference application where you're interacting with this chatbot, that chatbot requires a supercomputer in the back to run it. And that's the future. The future is generative with these chatbots, and these chatbots are trillions of tokens, trillions of parameters, and they have to generate tokens at interactive rates.
You can't go on for much longer? Yeah, I can, dude.
Oh, well, 3 tokens is about a word. Space, the final frontier, these are the adventures. That's like 80 tokens. Okay? I don't know if that's useful to you. And so, the art of communications is selecting good analogies. Yeah, this is not going well. Everybody's, I don't know what he's talking about.
He's got me risen up.
Never seen Star Trek. And so here we are, we're trying to generate these tokens. When you're interacting with it, you're hoping that the tokens come back to you as quickly as possible and as quickly as you can read it. And so the ability for generation tokens is really important. You have to parallelize the work of this model across many, many GPUs.
Oh, geez, I can't do 80
several
tokens.
Things. On the one hand, you would like throughput, because that throughput reduces the cost, the overall cost per token of generating. So your throughput dictates the cost of delivering the service. On the other hand, you have another interactive rate, which is another tokens per second, where it's about per user, and that has everything to do with quality of service. And so these two things compete against each other. And we have to find a way to distribute work across all of these different GPUs and parallelize it in a way that allows us to achieve both. And it turns out the search space is enormous. I told you there's going to be math involved. And everybody's going, oh, dear. I heard some gasps just now when I put up that slide. So this right here, the y-axis is tokens per second, data center throughput. The x-axis is tokens per second, interactivity of the person. And notice the upper right is the best.
You guys get this?
You want interactivity to be very high.
If you don't get this, please log off the stream.
Number of tokens per second per user. You want the tokens per second per data center to be very high. The upper right is terrific. However, it's very hard to do that. And in order for us to search for the best answer across every single one of those intersections, x, y coordinates, okay, so just look at every single x, y coordinate, all those blue dots came from some repartitioning of the software. Some optimizing solution has to go and figure out whether to use tensor parallel, expert parallel, pipeline parallel, or data parallel, and distribute this enormous model across all these different GPUs and sustain the performance that you need. This exploration space would be impossible if not for the programmability of NVIDIA's GPUs. And so we could, because of CUDA, because we have such a rich ecosystem, we could explore this universe and find that green roofline. It turns out that green roofline, notice, you got TP2, EP8, DP4. It means two tensor parallel across 2 GPUs, expert parallels across 8, data parallel across 4. Notice on the other end, you got tensor parallel across 4 and expert parallel across 16. The configuration, the distribution of that software, it's a different runtime that would produce these different results. And you have to go discover that roofline. Well, that's just one model. And this is just one configuration of a computer. Imagine all of the models being created around the world and all the different configurations of systems that are going to be available. So now that you understand the basics, let's take a look at inference of Blackwell compared to Hopper. And this is the extraordinary thing.
Yeah, how much for the 5090, bro?
Because we created
Tell me how much for the 5090.
That's designed for trillion parameter generative.
Show me how many gigs of VRAM and how 5090, dude.
The capability of Blackwell is off the charts. And
is it literally off the charts?
It is some 30 times Hopper.
Dude. Okay.
For large language models like ChatGPT and others like it, the blue line is Hopper, I gave you, imagine we didn't change the architecture of Hopper, and we just made it a bigger chip. We just used the latest, greatest.
Giving away the game here.
Terabytes.
We soldered on some more VRAM.
The two chips together, we got this giant 208 billion parameter chip. How would we have performed if nothing else changed? And it turns out quite wonderfully. Quite wonderfully, and that's the purple line, but not as great as it could be. And that's where the FP4 Tensor Core, the new transformer engine, and very importantly, the NVLink switch.
Bro, they're so far ahead of AMD, it's crazy.
All these GPUs have to share the results, partial products. Whenever they do all gather, whenever they communicate with each other, that NVLink switch is communicating almost 10 times faster than what we could do in the past using the fastest networks. Okay, so Blackwell is going to be just an amazing system for generative AI. And in the future,
if you run Hopper, dude,
data centers are going to be thought of, as I mentioned earlier, as an AI factory. An AI factory's goal in life is to generate revenues. Generate, in this case,
I did know he's a cousin of the CEO, yeah. That must make family gatherings weird.
Not generating electricity as in AC generators, but of the last industrial revolution and this industrial revolution, the generation of intelligence. And so this ability is super, super important. The excitement of Blackwell is really off the charts. When we first this is a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I guess 2 years ago, when we first started to go to market with Hopper, we had the benefit of two CSPs joined us in a launch, and we were, delighted. And so we had 2 customers. We have more now.
Understood. This guy should be a comedian. This guy should be a comedian. Riz God.
Unbelievable excitement for Blackwell. Unbelievable excitement.
Absolute
and there's a whole bunch of different configurations. Of course, I showed you
absolutely a Riz God.
Configurations that slide into the Hopper form factor, so that's easy to upgrade. I showed you examples that are liquid cooled, that are the extreme versions of it. One entire rack that's connected by NVLink 72. Blackwell is going to be ramping to the world's AI companies, of which there are so many now, doing amazing work in different modalities. The CSPs, every CSP is geared up. All the OEMs and ODMs, regional clouds, sovereign AIs, and telcos all over the world are signing up to launch with Blackwell. Blackwell would be the most successful product launch in our history, and so I can't wait to see that. I want to thank some partners that are joining us in this. AWS is gearing up for Blackwell. They're going to build the first GPU with secure AI. They're building out a 222 exaflops system. Just now when we animated, just now the digital twin, if you saw all of those clusters are coming down. By the way, that is not just art. That is a digital twin of what we're building. That's how big it's going to be. Besides infrastructure, we're doing a lot of things together with AWS. We're CUDA accelerating SageMaker AI. We're CUDA accelerating Bedrock AI. Amazon Robotics is working with us using Nvidia Omniverse and Isaac Sim. AWS Health has Nvidia Health integrated into it. So AWS has really leaned into accelerated computing. Google is gearing up for Blackwell. GCP already has A100s, H100s, T4s, L4s, a whole fleet of NVIDIA CUDA GPUs, and they recently announced the Gemma model that runs across all of it. We're working to optimize and accelerate every aspect of GCP. We're accelerating DataProc, which for data processing, their data processing engine, JAX, XLA, Vertex AI, and Mujoko for robotics. So we're working with Google and GCP across a whole bunch of initiatives.
That's crazy.
Oracle is gearing up for Blackwell. Oracle is a great partner of ours for NVIDIA DGX Cloud, and we're also working together to accelerate something that's really important to a lot of companies, Oracle database. Microsoft is accelerating, and Microsoft is gearing up for Blackwell. Microsoft and Nvidia has a wide-ranging partnership. We're accelerating, CUDA accelerating all kinds of services when you chat, obviously, and AI services that are in Microsoft Azure. It's very, very likely NVIDIA's in the back doing the inference and the token generation. They built the largest NVIDIA InfiniBand supercomputer, basically a digital twin of ours, or a physical twin of ours. We're bringing the NVIDIA ecosystem to Azure. NVIDIA DGX Cloud to Azure. NVIDIA Omniverse is now hosted in Azure. NVIDIA Healthcare is in Azure. And all of it is deeply integrated and deeply connected with Microsoft Fabric. The whole industry is gearing up for Blackwell. This is what I'm about to show you. Most of the scenes that you've seen so far of Blackwell are the full fidelity design of Blackwell. Everything in our company has a digital twin. And in fact, this digital twin idea is really spreading, and it helps companies build very complicated things perfectly the first time. And what could be more exciting than creating a digital twin to build a computer that was built in a digital twin? And so I'm going to show you what Wistron's doing.
To meet the demand for NVIDIA accelerated computing, Wistron, one of our leading manufacturing partners, is building digital twins of NVIDIA DGX and HGX factories using custom software developed with Omniverse SDKs and APIs.
Wow.
For their newest factory, Wistron started with a digital twin to virtually integrate their multi-CAD and process simulation data into a unified view. Testing and optimizing layouts in this physically accurate digital environment increased worker efficiency by 51%. During construction, the Omniverse digital twin was used to verify that the physical build matched the digital plans. Identifying any discrepancies early has helped avoid costly change orders. And the results have been impressive. Using a digital twin helped bring Wistron's factory online in half the time, just 2.5 months instead of 5. In operation, the Omniverse digital twin helps Wistron rapidly test new layouts to accommodate new processes or improve operations in the existing space, and monitor real-time operations using live IoT data from every machine on the production line.
All right, give me a graphics card, dude.
Which ultimately enabled Wistron to reduce end-to-end cycle times by 50% and defect rates by 40%.
Wow.
With NVIDIA AI and Omniverse, NVIDIA's global ecosystem of partners are building a new era of accelerated AI-enabled digitalization.
Wow.
That's the way it's going to be in the future. We're going to manufacture everything digitally first, and then we'll manufacture it physically. People ask me, how did it start? What got you guys so excited?
How did it start?
What was it that you saw that caused you to put it all in on this incredible idea? And it's this. Hang on a second. Guys, that was going to be such a moment. That's what happens when you don't rehearse.
Pat, I can do that, dude. Who cares? That's PyTorch.
As you know, was First Contact. 2012, AlexNet.
I could do that.
You put a cat into this computer, and it comes out.
Feed a cat to a computer?
Cat.
Wow. You kill a cat.
And we said, oh my God, this is going to change everything. You take 1 million numbers, across 3 channels, RGB. These numbers make no sense to anybody. You put it into this software, and it dimensionally reduces it. It reduces it from 1 million dimensions. It turns it into 3 letters, 1 vector, 1 number. And it's generalized. You could have the cat be different cats.
Whoa.
And you could have it be the front of the cat and the back of the cat. And you look at this thing, you say, unbelievable. You mean any cats?
Any cat.
Yeah, any cat. And it was able to recognize all these cats. And we realized how it did it. Systematically, structurally, it's scalable.
What if they put a computer into a cat?
How big can you make it? Well, how big do you want to make it?
What if the animal
And
becomes
so
a
we
router,
imagined
dude?
That this is a completely new way of writing software.
So we put Blackwell, a chip
now
into
today,
a
as you know,
cat, and it killed us.
You type in the word CAT, and what comes out is a cat.
A real cat.
It went the other way. Am I right? Unbelievable.
Caleb Hammer. He goes both ways too.
That's right. How is it possible you took 3 letters and you generated 1 million pixels from it, and it made sense? Well, that's the miracle. And here we are, just literally 10 years later, where we recognize text, we recognize images, we recognize videos and sounds and images. Not only do we recognize them, we understand their meaning. We understand the meaning of the text. That's the reason why it can chat with you. It can summarize for you. It understands the text. It understood, not just recognizes the English, it understood the English. It doesn't just recognize the pixels, it understood the pixels. And you can even condition it between 2 modalities. You can have language condition image and generate all kinds of interesting things. Well, if you can understand these things, what else can you understand that you've digitized?
Jeez.
The reason why we started with text and images is because we digitized those. But what else have we digitized? Well, it turns out we digitized a lot of things. Proteins and genes and brain waves. Anything you can digitize, so long as there's structure, we can probably learn some patterns from it. And if we can learn the patterns from it, we can understand its meaning. If we can understand its meaning, we might be able to generate it as well. And so therefore, the generative AI revolution is here. Well, what else can we generate? What else can we learn? Well, one of the things that we would love to learn,
Very funny, Jimbo's A-log.
We would love to learn.
You're my favorite A-log, dude.
We would love to learn extreme weather. We would love to learn how we can predict future weather at regional scales at sufficiently high resolution such that we can keep people out of harm's way before harm comes.
You can't do that because once you do that, then people change their movement.
$150 billion, surely more than that, and it's not evenly distributed. $150 billion is concentrated in some parts of the world, and of course, to some people of the world. We need to adapt, and we need to know what's coming. And so we're creating Earth 2, a digital twin of the Earth for predicting weather, and we've made an extraordinary invention called CoreDiff, the ability to use generative AI to predict weather at extremely high resolution. Let's take a look.
As the Earth's climate changes, AI-powered weather forecasting is allowing us to more accurately predict and track severe storms, like Super Typhoon Chanthu, which caused widespread damage in Taiwan and the surrounding region in 2021. Current AI forecast models can accurately predict the track of storms, but they are limited to 25-kilometer resolution, which can miss important details. Nvidia's CoreDiff is a revolutionary new trained on high-resolution, radar-assimilated WRF weather forecasts and Era 5 reanalysis data. Using CoreDiff, extreme events like Chanthu can be super-resolved from 25-kilometer to 2-kilometer resolution, with 1,000 times the speed and 3,000 times the energy efficiency of conventional weather models.
Wow.
By combining the speed and accuracy of Nvidia's weather forecasting model ForecastNet and generative AI models like CoreDiff, we can explore hundreds or even thousands of kilometer-scale regional weather forecasts to provide a clear picture of the best, worst, and most likely impacts of a storm. This wealth of information can help minimize loss of life and property damage. Today, CoreDiff is optimized for Taiwan, but soon, generative supersampling will be available as part of the Nvidia Earth 2 inference service for many regions across the globe.
That's very cool. I knew that was going to happen, but that's cool. But I knew it was going to happen anyway. So,
the weather company is the trusted source of global weather prediction. We are working together to accelerate their weather simulation.
Robots. I don't care about weather. Get to the robots. I'm not going outside.
However, they're also going to integrate Earth 2 CoreDiff so that they could help businesses and countries do regional high-resolution weather prediction. And so if you have some weather prediction you'd like to do, reach out to the weather company. Really exciting work. Nvidia Healthcare. Something we started 15 years ago. We're super excited about this. This is an area where we're very, very proud. Whether it's medical imaging or gene sequencing or computational chemistry, it is very likely that Nvidia is the computation behind it. We've done so much work in this area. Today, we're announcing that we're going to do something really, really cool. Imagine...
But you don't know until we do it.
AI models that are being used to generate images and audio, but instead of images and audio, because it understood images and audio, all the digitization that we've done for genes and proteins and amino acids, that digitization capability is now passed through machine learning so that we understand the language.
Solana's at $202, bro. That's crazy.
The ability to understand the language of life.
Rip Tafuki, rest in piss.
Evidence of it with AlphaFold. This is really quite an extraordinary thing.
Rest in piss, Fuki.
After decades of painstaking work, the world has only digitized.
I wish you would give me the money, then killed yourself. But you killed yourself.
Electron microscopy or
you owe me $100 grand.
X-ray crystallography. These different techniques painstakingly reconstructed the protein. 200,000 of them.
Bro, I'm gonna get a jacket. I'm cold.
What is it? Less than
I think it's cold for real, dude.
AlphaFold.
I need a leather jacket.
Reconstructed 200 million proteins. Basically, every protein, every living thing that's ever been sequenced. This is completely revolutionary. Well, those models are incredibly hard to use, incredibly hard for people to build. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build them. We're going to build them for the researchers around the world. And it won't be the only one. There'll be many other models that we create. And so let me show you what we're going to do with it.
Virtual screening for new medicines is a computationally intractable problem. Existing techniques can only scan billions of compounds and require days on thousands of standard compute nodes to identify new drug candidates. Nvidia BioNeMo NIMs enable a new generative screening paradigm. Using NIMs for protein structure prediction with AlphaFold, molecule generation with MolMIM, and docking with DiffDock, we can now generate and screen candidate molecules in a matter of minutes. MolMIM can connect to custom applications to steer the generative process, iteratively optimizing for desired properties. These applications can be defined with BioNeMo microservices or built from scratch. Here, a physics-based simulation optimizes for a molecule's ability to bind to a target protein, while optimizing for other favorable molecular properties in parallel. MolMIM generates high-quality drug-like molecules that bind to the target and are synthesizable, translating to a higher probability of developing successful medicines faster. BioNeMo is enabling a new paradigm in drug discovery with NIMs, providing on-demand microservices that can be combined to build powerful drug discovery workflows like de novo protein design or guided molecule generation for virtual screening. BioNeMo NIMs are helping researchers and developers reinvent computational drug design.
NVIDIA MolMIM, Core Diff, there's a whole bunch of other models. Computer vision models, robotics models, and even, of course, some really, really terrific open source language models. These models are groundbreaking. However, it's hard for companies to use. How would you use it? How would you bring it into your company and integrate it into your workflow? How would you package it up and run it? Remember, earlier I just said that inference is an extraordinary computation problem. How would you do the optimization for each and every one of these models and put together the computing stack necessary to run that supercomputer so that you can run these models in your company? And so we have a great idea. We're going to invent a new way for you to receive and operate software. This software comes basically in a digital box. We call it a container. And we call it the NVIDIA Inference Microservice, a NIM. And let me explain to you what it is. A NIM, it's a pre-trained model, so it's pretty clever. And it is packaged and optimized to run across NVIDIA's install base, which is very, very large. What's inside it is incredible. You have all these pre-trained, state-of-the-art open source models. They could be open source, they could be from one of our partners, it could be created by us, like NVIDIA Moment. It is packaged up with all of its dependencies. So CUDA, the right version, cuDNN, the right version, TensorRT, LLM, distributing across the multiple GPUs, Triton Inference Server, all completely packaged together. It's optimized, depending on whether you have a single GPU, multi-GPU, or multi-node of GPUs, it's optimized for that. And it's connected up with APIs that are simple to use. Now think about what an AI API is. An AI API is an interface that you just talk to. And so this is a piece of software in the future that has a really simple API, and that API is called Human. And these packages, incredible bodies of software, will be optimized and packaged, and we'll put it on a website, and you can download it, you could take it with you, you could run it in any cloud, you could run it in your own data center, you can run in workstations if it fit, and all you have to do is come to ai.nvidia.com. We call it NVIDIA Inference Microservice, but inside the company, we all call it NIMS. Okay? Just imagine, someday there's going to be one of these chatbots, and these chatbots is going to just be in a NIM, and you'll assemble a whole bunch of chatbots, and that's the way software is going to be built someday. How do we build software in the future? It is unlikely that you'll write it from scratch or write a whole bunch of Python code or anything like that. It is very likely that you assemble a team of AIs. There's probably going to be a super AI that you use that takes the mission that you give it and breaks it down into an execution plan. Some of that execution plan could be handed off to another NIM. That NIM would maybe understand SAP. The language of SAP is ABAP. It might understand ServiceNow. And it go retrieve some information from their platforms. It might then hand that result to another NIM who goes off and does a calculation on it. Maybe it's an optimization software, a combinatorial optimization algorithm.
Did I miss anything cool?
Some basic calculator. Maybe it's pandas to do some numerical analysis on it. And then it comes back with its answer, and it gets combined with everything else.
Isn't this Paul down the talking? Did I miss what I was talking about, dude?
Present it with, this is what the right answer should look like. It knows what right answers to produce, and it presents it to you.
The Nobel Prize for Best Guy goes to us again. Wow.
Hans von Luck sent $10. Paul, the smartest con I have, says Saul to $900. Congratulations.
See, anybody saying that is retarded. Anybody saying $900, that's not a real quantity. That's a mentally ill person. Anybody making a price prediction that's under $10,000, retarded.
As you have NVIDIA GPUs
Thank you,
in the
though.
data center in the cloud.
Thank you.
This NIMS will work together as a team and do amazing things. And so we decided, this is such a great idea, we're going to go do that. And so NVIDIA has NIMS running all over the company. We have chatbots being created all over the place, and one of the most important chatbots,
dude, this is what I said.
Chip designer chatbot. You might not be surprised.
This is what I said.
Building chips.
It's doing what I'm saying.
And so we want
I'm so smart.
Chatbots,
I'm a genius.
AI co-pilots.
I know how the world works.
Our co-designers with our engineers.
Give me $1 million, dude.
So
I'm a genius.
This is the way we did it. So we got ourselves a Llama 2. This is a 70B, and it's packaged up in a NIM. And we asked it, what is a CTL? Well, it turns out CTL is an internal program, and it has an internal proprietary language, but it thought the CTL was a combinatorial timing logic, and so
sold to 5,000 USD.
Conventional knowledge.
No,
of
dude,
CTL,
10K.
but that's not very.
It's gonna flip Ethereum, dude. I almost guarantee it.
Gave it a whole
financially,
bunch of new
legally
examples.
speaking.
This is no different than onboarding an employee.
Solana, unless it goes down, will legit pass Ethereum this cycle.
And then we present to them,
not just in market cap, in value.
This is what a CTL is. Okay, and so this is what a CTL is at NVIDIA, and the CTL, as you can see, CTL stands for Compute Trace Library, which makes sense. We were tracing compute cycles all the time, and it wrote the program.
And then Link will 10x and then 10x again, and 10x again. And then I'll have to be like planning on how not to get blackmailed.
And so the productivity of our chip designers can go up. This is what you can do with a NIM. First thing you can do with it is customize it. We have a service called Nemo microservice that helps you curate the data, preparing the data so that you could teach this, onboard this AI. You fine tune them.
Nemo.
And then you guardrail it. You can even evaluate the answer, evaluate its performance against other examples. And so that's called the Nemo microservice. Now, the thing that's emerging here is this. There are three elements, three pillars of what we're doing. The first pillar is, of course, inventing the technology for AI models and running AI models and packaging it up for you. The second is to create tools to help you modify it. First is having the AI technology. Second is to help you modify it. And third is infrastructure for you to fine-tune it, and if you like, deploy it. You could deploy it on our infrastructure called DGX Cloud, or you can deploy it on-prem, you can deploy it anywhere you like. Once you develop it, it's yours to take anywhere. And so we are effectively an AI foundry. We will do for
I don't care. Give me the box.
AI, what TSMC does for us building chips.
Dude, I want a box. I want a box I can buy and build and make my own things.
They manufacture it.
I want all local. I don't want anything on the cloud.
Exactly the same thing here. AI foundry, and the three pillars are the NIMs.
I don't want anything on the cloud. Give me stuff local, dude.
And DGX Cloud. The other thing that you could teach the NIM to do is to understand your proprietary information. Remember, inside our company, the vast majority of our data is not in the cloud. It's inside our company. It's been sitting there.
F the cloud, dude.
Being used all the time, and gosh, it's basically NVIDIA's intelligence. We would like to take that data, learn its meaning, like we learned the meaning of almost anything else that we just talked about. Learn its meaning, and then re-index that knowledge into a new type of database called a vector database. And so you essentially take structured data or unstructured data, you learn its meaning, you encode its meaning, so now this becomes an AI database, and that AI database, in the future, once you create it, you can talk to it. And so let me give you an example of what you could do. So suppose you've got a whole bunch of multi-modality data, and one good example of that is PDF. So you take the PDF, you take all of your PDFs, all your favorite, the stuff that is proprietary to you, critical to your company. You can encode it, just as we encoded pixels of a cat, and it becomes the word cat. We can encode all of your PDF, and it turns into vectors that are now stored inside your vector database. It becomes the proprietary information of your company. And once you have that proprietary information, you can chat to it. It's a smart database. And so you just chat with data. And how much more enjoyable is that?
It's just an interface with it.
Our software team.
It's just an interface with data because chat is too limited. Chat is too verbal. Interface is better because then you can have like.
Last night, are we making any progress? And then after you're done talking to this bugs database, you need therapy, and so we have another chatbot for you. You can do it.
Classic.
Okay, so we call this Nemo Retriever, and the reason for that is because ultimately its job is to go retrieve information as quickly as possible. And you just talk to it. Hey, retrieve me this information. It goes, oh, it brings it back to you. Do you mean this? You go, yeah, perfect. Okay? And so we call it the Nemo Retriever. Well, the Nemo service helps you create all these things, and we have all these different NIMs. We even have NIMs of digital humans.
I'm Rachel, your AI care manager.
Okay, so it's a really short clip, but there were so many videos to show you, I guess so many other demos to show you, and so I had to cut this one short. But this is Diana.
Show me the demos,
dude. She is
dude.
a digital human NIM.
Is that a real person?
And you just talk to her, and she's connected, in this case, to Hippocratic AI's large language model for healthcare, and it's truly amazing. She is just super smart about healthcare things. And so after you're done, after my Dwight, my VP of software engineering, talks to the chatbot database, then
Dwight
you
from the
over
office,
and talk to
dude.
Diane.
That's funny.
So Diane is completely animated with AI, and she's a digital.
She's also super bad.
There's so many companies that would like to build. They're sitting on gold mines The enterprise IT industry is sitting on a gold mine. It's a gold mine because they have so much understanding of the way work.
Show me Michael, the Michael chatbot.
Amazing tools that have been created over the years.
Was that black guy who sleeps a lot?
On a lot of data.
The fat black guy in the office?
If they could take
I want him as a chatbot.
Gold mine and turn them into co-pilots, these co-pilots could help us do things. And so just about every IT franchise, IT platform in the world that has valuable tools
Stanley AI
is sitting on a gold mine of co-pilots. And they would like to build their own co-pilots and their own chatbots. And so we're announcing that Nvidia AI Foundry is working with some of the world's great companies. SAP generates
Bongo is Kevin. Yeah, Kevin AI.
Commerce.
Dude,
basically,
imagine the kicks. Imagine the lulz.
Nvidia and SAP.
Kevin AI, bro.
SAP Joule co-pilots using Nvidia Nemo and DGX Cloud. ServiceNow, they were 85%
I would be gone
of the
forever.
world's
I'd be talking to all the characters from
companies
The Office
run
all
their
day.
people and customer service operations on ServiceNow. And they're using Nvidia AI Foundry to build ServiceNow
Angela chatbot.
Virtual
Keep zero all the way from Angela chatbot.
Cohesity backs up the world's data. They're sitting on a gold mine of data. Hundreds of exabytes of data, over 10,000 companies. Nvidia AI Foundry is working with them, helping them build their Gaia generative AI agent. Snowflake is a company that stores the world's digital warehouse in the cloud and serves over 3 billion queries a day for 10,000 enterprise customers. Snowflake is working with Nvidia AI Foundry to build copilots with Nvidia Nemo and NIMS. NetApp, nearly half of the files in the world are stored on-prem on NetApp. Nvidia AI Foundry is helping them build chatbots and copilots like those vector databases and retrievers with Nvidia Nemo and NIMS. And we have a great partnership with Dell. Everybody who is building these chatbots and generative AI, when you're ready to run it, you're going to need an AI factory. And nobody is better at building end-to-end systems of very large scale for the enterprise than Dell. And so anybody, any company, every company will need to build AI factories. And it turns out that Michael is here. He's happy to take your order. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Dell. Okay, let's talk about the next wave of robotics, the next wave of AI, robotics, physical AI. So far, all of the AI that we've talked about is one computer. Data comes into one computer, lots of the world's, if you will, experience in digital text form. The AI imitates us by reading a lot of the language to predict the next words. It's imitating you by studying all of the patterns and all the other previous examples. Of course, it has to understand context and so on and so forth, but once it understands the context, it's essentially imitating you. We take all of the data, we put it into a system like DGX, we compress it into a large language model, trillions and trillions of parameters become billions and billions, trillions of tokens becomes billions of parameters, these billions of parameters becomes your AI. Well, in order for us to go to the next wave of AI, where the AI understands the physical world, we're going to need 3 computers. The first computer is still the same computer. It's that AI computer that now is going to be watching video, and maybe it's doing synthetic data generation, and maybe there's a lot of human examples. Just as we have human examples in text form, we're going to have human examples in articulation form, and the AIs will watch us, understand what is happening, and try to adapt it for themselves into the context. And because it can generalize with these foundation models, maybe these robots can also perform in the physical world fairly generally. So I just described in very simple terms essentially what just happened in large language models, except the ChatGPT moment for robotics may be right around the corner. And so we've been building the end-to-end systems for robotics for some time. I'm super, super proud of the work. We have the AI system, DGX. We have the lower system, which is called AGX, for autonomous systems, the world's first robotics processor. When we first built this thing, people are, what are you guys building? It's a SoC It's one chip. It's designed to be very low power, but it's designed for high-speed sensor processing and AI. And so if you want to run transformers in a car, or you want to run transformers in a anything that move.
Dude.
I'm just dead inside. Can't cry. I've tried. I only laugh at memes. Living the dream.
Thank you for this, Chimpanzee Log.
Human feedback of a robot. Well, it's reinforcement learning physical feedback. That's how you align the robot.
Only 56,000 people left.
That's how the robot knows that as it's learning these articulation capabilities and manipulation capabilities, it's going to adapt properly into the laws of physics. And so we need a simulation engine that represents the world digitally for the robot, so that the robot has a gym to go learn how to be a robot.
Dude, this is...
We call that...
It's fine, but it's too much of a copy of, it's too much of a copy of, what's his name?
And OVX, the computer itself, is hosted in the Azure.
It's too much of a copy of Shooter.
Okay, and so basically we built these three things, these three systems. On top of it, we have algorithms.
Too much of a copy. Sorry.
Now,
if this is you, I'm sorry. It's too much of a copy of
how AI
Shooter
and Omniverse are going to work together. The example I'm going to show you is kind of insane, but it's going to be very, very close to tomorrow. It's a robotics building. This robotics building is called a warehouse. Inside the robotics building are going to be some autonomous systems. Some of the autonomous systems are humans, and some of the autonomous systems are going to be called forklifts. And these autonomous systems are going to interact with each other, of course, autonomously, and it's going to be overlooked upon by this warehouse to keep them out of harm's way. The warehouse is essentially an air traffic controller. And whenever it sees something happening, it will redirect traffic and give new waypoints.
Thank you.
Just new waypoints to the robots and the people, and they'll know exactly what to do. This warehouse, this building, you can also talk to. Of course you could talk to it. Hey, SAP Center, how are you feeling today? For example. And so you could ask the warehouse the same questions. Basically, the system I just described will have Omniverse Cloud that's hosting the virtual simulation, and AI running on DGX Cloud, and all of this is running in real time. Let's take a look.
The future of heavy industries starts as a digital twin. The AI agents helping robots, workers, and infrastructure navigate unpredictable events in complex industrial spaces will be built and evaluated first in sophisticated digital twins. This Omniverse digital twin of a 100,000 square foot warehouse is operating as a simulation environment that integrates digital workers, AMRs running the Isaac Perceptor stack, centralized activity maps of the entire warehouse from 100 simulated ceiling mount cameras using Nvidia Metropolis, and AMR route planning with Nvidia Cuopt. Software in loop testing of AI agents in this physically accurate simulated environment enables us to evaluate and refine how the system adapts to real-world unpredictability. Here, an incident occurs along this AMR's planned route, blocking its path as it moves to pick up a pallet. Nvidia Metropolis updates and sends a real-time occupancy map to Cuopt, where a new optimal route is calculated. The AMR is enabled to see around corners and improve its mission efficiency. With generative AI-powered Metropolis Vision Foundation models, operators can even ask questions using natural language. The visual model understands nuanced activity and can offer immediate insights to improve operations. All of the sensor data is created in simulation and passed to the real-time AI, running as NVIDIA Inference Microservices, or NIMs.
Dude, I have my brain. I don't have to walk. I'm not going to walk into it.
Deployed in the physical twin.
I'm not going to walk into it. I have a brain.
We connect Metropolis and Isaac NIMs
What's even the point?
to real sensors with the ability for continuous improvement of both the digital twin and the AI models.
Clean up on aisle 3, Janny. That was sucked. That one sucked. No, that sucked.
And so,
next, give me the next demo.
Remember, a future facility, warehouse, factory, building will be software defined. And so the software is running. How else would you test the software? So you're
give me another
software
demo. That one
building
sucked.
the warehouse, the optimization system in the digital twin. What about all the robots? All of those robots you were seeing just now, they're all running their own autonomous robotic stack. And so the way you integrate software in the future, CI/CD in the future, for robotic systems is with digital twins. We've made Omniverse a lot easier to access. We're going to create basically Omniverse cloud APIs, 4 simple API and a channel, and you can connect your application.
What if the AI says the Holocaust didn't happen?
This is going to be as
Then you shut down the whole factory?
beautifully simple in the future that Omniverse is going to be. And with these APIs, you're going to have these magical digital twin capability. We also have turned Omniverse into an AI and integrated it with the ability to chat USD, the language of
chat and money.
Language is, human, and Omniverse
we talk money.
It turns out is universal scene description, and so that language is rather complex, and so we've taught our Omniverse that language, and so you can speak to it in English, and it would directly generate USD. And it would talk back.
It generates money, dude?
Converse back to you.
That's cash.
You could also look for
that's cash.
in this world semantically. Instead of the world being encoded semantically in language, now it's encoded semantically in scenes. And so you could ask it of certain objects or certain conditions or certain scenarios, and it can go and find that scenario for you. It also can collaborate with you in generation. You could design some things in 3D. It could simulate some things in 3D, or you could use AI to generate something in 3D. Let's take a look at how this is all going to work. We have a great partnership with Siemens. Siemens is the world's largest industrial engineering and operations platform. You've seen now so many different companies in the industrial space. Heavy industries is one of the greatest final frontiers of IT. And we finally now have the necessary technology to go and make
They did
real
not
impact.
just say that, did
Siemens
they?
is building the industrial metaverse. And today we're announcing that Siemens is connecting their crown jewel, Accelerator, to Nvidia. Let's take a look.
Siemens technology is transformed every day for everyone.
Dude,
Teamcenter X,
these Coomers, unreal.
Cycle management
They made a whole
software
company of
Siemens
Cooming.
Accelerator platform
Dude.
is used every day by our customers to develop and deliver products at scale. Now we are bringing the real and the digital worlds even closer, integrating Nvidia AI and Omniverse technologies into Teamcenter X. Omniverse APIs enable data interoperability and physics-based rendering to industrial-scale design and manufacturing projects. Our customers, HD&A, market leader in sustainable ship manufacturing, builds ammonia and hydrogen-powered ships, often comprising over 7 million discrete parts.
The Nobel Prize for
Omniverse
best guy
APIs,
goes to us
Teamcenter X.
again. Wow.
Stream sent $10.
Thank you.
Of planet Earth. Everything
These
that happened
massive
was
engineering
in favor of the growth of our planet. Organic life was flourishing. But suddenly, another voice pops up in our head. Suddenly, we have duality, good and bad. An evil eye has woken up inside our head. The only purpose of that voice is to kill all organic life. Suddenly, we think of suicide. Suddenly, we think of killing our neighbor for no reason at all.
This guy's retarded.
Now, we start destroying all life.
This man's just retarded. Dude. Whoever made this is retarded. Straight up retarded.
The parasite is mimicking our internal voice and is pretending to be us. That way, it is hiding from our awareness.
An Asian.
How do we get rid of this parasite? Let me tell you the story of Ramana Maharshi. In the summer of 1896, Ramana went into an altered state of consciousness, which had a profound effect on him. He experienced what he understood to be his own death, and later returned to life. So, Ramana experienced his own death. I think he experienced the death of the parasite. From that moment, he was in a state of unselfishness. Ramana advised the methods of inquiry into the nature of the self by asking the question, who am I?
Bruh, I had a stroke.
He wants you to ask the question, who am I? I being the ego.
Nigga, I figured that out years ago.
That way, he asks the parasite, who are you? Thereby exposing it and making it to leave. Because of universal law, the parasite needs our consent to stay here.
Dude, this guy's retarded.
It has to lie to us all the time. The moment you see it, the parasite is out.
It's about Jews?
Okay, let's look for the parasite.
Wait, is this about Jews?
Not here.
Okay, you have my attention. Thank you. That was good. Alright, what are we watching? Parasite pill. Cool. Apple glasses. Whoa. Is that cool? Is that real? Chat, is that real? Chat, was that real?
That was not an animation, that was Omniverse. Today we're announcing that Omniverse Cloud streams to the Vision Pro. And
ooh. Killer app.
It is very, very strange that you walk around virtual doors when I was getting out of that car, and everybody does it. It is really, really quite amazing. Vision Pro connected to Omniverse portals you into Omniverse. And because all of these
jack me
and all
into
these
the
different design tools are now
Omniverse, dude.
integrated and connected to Omniverse, you can have this type of workflow. Really incredible. Let's talk about robotics. Everything that moves will be robotic. There's no question about that. It's safer, it's more convenient. And one of the largest industries is going to be automotive. We build the robotic stack from top to bottom, as I was mentioned, from the computer system, but in the case of self-driving cars, including the self-driving car application. At the end of this year, or I guess beginning of next year, we will be shipping in Mercedes, and then shortly
the Nobel Prize for best guy goes to us again. Wow.
G-Ape sent $10.
Dude.
Intelligence, control and planning, all kinds of very complicated technology, and takes years to...
Of course, you will not see the parasite.
What if I go to the bank?
Because it is behind the camera.
What if it's
filming?
What if it's the guy at a bank?
Okay, so there are two observers watching through the camera. The silent one and the one who is constantly talking.
And the one who knocks.
As we are born without a language in our head, the observer who is talking must be the parasite. Now, the silent one can observe the noisy one.
Dude, what does this even mean? This is a waste of time. What is this saying?
So we die.
This
now
is
we
completely
got rid
disconnected.
Of it all, we think. Oops. We got sucked into the tunnel of white light. A winged being is waiting.
Dude, what is this even saying? I don't even get it.
An angel.
Retarded.
God. Saint Peter.
No.
Funny how all those gods are winged.
Really? That's funny.
If I'm correct, this white tunnel is the corridor into the consciousness
Black Sun.
of the insect cell.
Dude, the Black Sun
are the gatekeepers
Nazi.
of the parasite's
Hitler.
world, keeping us out.
Hitler.
We have to stay in purgatory. No, you are not coming into heaven. You have to go back to
no,
because you made some mistakes. You have to reincarnate again.
No.
You people are bad.
No.
You are sinners.
No.
You are destroying your own world.
No.
You have to return.
No.
And time.
No. Please, no. Life's too hard. Life's too suffering and miserable. Sometimes I have to work. Life's too hard. I can't go back. Oh, it's too hard here. I have to wake up sometimes. Oh, I have to fold my bed.
Let's
I have to fold my clothes.
Stone and see.
Oh, sometimes I have to shake a shower. Oh, it's too hard. Truly, this is samsara. Thank you for that.
The entire environment could be reprogrammed, just as I showed you at the very beginning.
Sometimes I have to work. Oh, I must be in hell. I must be in a Gnostic hell.
If those boxes fall down,
I must be in a Gnostic hell. Sometimes I have to do unpleasant things. Oh, no.
Now,
too hard. Oh.
Perceptor, we have incredible state-of-the-art vision odometry, 3D reconstruction, and
sometimes I have to actually do stuff. Oh, life's pain.
Modalities to keep an eye on.
Oh,
Isaac,
how could I ever live?
The most used.
Let me out.
Is a manipulator.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Manufacturing arms, and they are also pre-programmed. The computer vision algorithms, the AI algorithms, the control and path planning algorithms that are
talked about the 5090, dude.
Incredibly computationally intensive. We have made these CUDA accelerated. So we have the world's first CUDA accelerated motion planner that is geometry aware.
That's cool.
You put something in front of it, it comes up with a new plan and articulates around it. It has excellent perception for pose estimation of a 3D object. Not its pose in 2D, but its pose in 3D. So it has to imagine what's
pocketful posy, dude.
And how best to grab it. So the foundation pose, the grip foundation,
you got the grip.
The articulation.
This AI's got the grip too, dude.
Are now available. We call it Isaac Manipulator, and they also just run on Nvidia's computers. We are starting to do some really great work in the next generation of robotics.
Dude, I got dust on my computer.
Robotics will likely be a humanoid robotics. We now have the necessary technology, and as I was describing earlier, the necessary technology to imagine generalized human robotics. In a way, human robotics is likely easier, and the reason for that is because we have a lot more imitation training data that we can provide the robots because we are constructed in a very similar way. It is very likely that the human robotics will be much more.
Think about all the people who have fibromyalgia and live in suffering. Well, I don't, dude. I don't, so I must not be in the simulation. I must be the god of the simulation then.
Set up our workstations and manufacturing and logistics. They were designed for humans. They were designed for people.
Not my problem, dude.
Robotics will likely be much more productive to deploy. While we're creating, just like we're doing with
I'm the demiurge, bro.
The entire stack. Starting from the top, a foundation model.
I'm the Archon.
That learns from watching video, human
I'm Cthulhu, dude.
It could be
I'm Cthulhu, form, I forgot, now I remember.
Reality form.
I used to forget that I was Cthulhu, now I remember.
A gym for it called Isaac.
Once I made money on Bowden, I realized I was Cthulhu.
Humanoid robot to learn how to adapt to the physical world.
Once Solana hit $200, I realized I was Cthulhu.
The same computer that's going to go into a robotic car, this computer will run inside a humanoid robot called Thor. It's designed for transformer engines.
My slave Thor. That's how I like it.
Into one
video. How low-keying.
You're going to really love. Take a look.
Am I having a slave named Thor? The Groot stack? Nice.
It's not enough for humans to imagine.
I'm gonna have a Thor robot and torture it.
And explore.
Really cool.
And push beyond what's been done.
Mm-hmm. Wink.
We create smarter and faster. We push it to fail so it can learn.
We beat it. Beat it with a stick, dude. Hit it.
We teach it, then help it teach itself. We broaden its understanding to take on new challenges with absolute precision and succeed.
Dude, that's cool.
We make it perceive and move and even reason.
That's cool that you can do the drive sim. You do like a simulator that's fairly real, and then it learns, and then you put it in the real world. Real robot. Real robot. Real robot. That's cool.
This is where inspiration leads us. The next frontier. This is Nvidia Project.
Bro. That's crazy.
A general purpose foundation model for humanoid robot learning.
Dude, it's over for...
The group model takes...
Bro, imagine what being an Indian engineer watching that.
Past interactions.
Getting really jealous of killing the robot.
This is the next action for the robot to execute. We developed Isaac Lab, a robot learning application to train Groot on Omniverse.
Dude, look at these retards, dude.
And we scale out
Look at these
Osmo,
retards.
a new compute orchestration service that coordinates workflows across DGX systems for training and OVX systems for simulation. With these tools, we can train Groot in physically based simulation.
That's cool.
And transfer zero shot to the real world. The Groot model will enable a robot to learn from a handful of human demonstrations, so it can help with everyday tasks.
Dude, that's so cool.
And emulate human movement just by observing us. This is made possible with Nvidia's technologies that can understand humans from videos, train models in simulation, and ultimately deploy them directly to physical robots. Connecting Groot to a large language model.
I did that, dude. I made that. I came up with this idea.
By following natural.
I created simulation. This is all my idea.
Can you give me a high five? Sure thing. Let's high five.
Dude, this isn't realistic. It would say, no, nerd.
Some cool moves?
No, nerd.
Check this out.
Throw a Roman.
All this incredible.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
By the new Jetson Thor robotics chips, designed for Groot, built for the future.
Throw me a Roman. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
And Groot, we're providing the building blocks for the next generation of AI-powered robotics.
Throw me a Roman. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Introducing the Asian.
About the same size.
4'8". Oh. Did I say that out loud?
The soul of Nvidia. The intersection of computer graphics, physics, artificial intelligence. It all came to bear at this moment. The name of that project, General Robotics 003. I know. Super good.
The Nobel Prize for Best Guy goes to us again. Wow.
Thank you.
Anonymous
well,
sent $5.
I think we have some special guests.
I appreciate it.
Do we?
God, making it Asian. Oh, dude, this is cool. Bro, that's so cool. Okay. Golf clap.
Hey, guys.
That's so cool, dude. That's unironically so cool.
Prize for Best Guy goes to us again.
They're powered by Jetsons. Little Jetson robotics computers inside.
Dude, look at this.
Learn to walk in Isaac Sim.
Dude, this is so crazy. That's so cool, dude.
This is orange, and this is the famous green.
Sorry, I had to skip your demo.
They are the
We'll watch it later.
BTX robots of Disney. Amazing.
Dude, that's so
Disney
cool.
Research.
Give me this, bro.
Come on, you guys, let's wrap up. Let's go. 5 things. Where are you going? I sit right here. Don't be afraid. Come here, Green. Hurry up.
Dude.
Saying. No, it's not time to eat. It's not time to eat. I'll give you a snack in a moment. Let me finish up real quick. Come on, Green, hurry up. Stop wasting time. 5 things. 5 things. First, a new industrial revolution. Every data center should be accelerated.
Just give me one, dude. I want one.
$1 trillion worth of installed data centers will become modernized over the next several years. Second, because of the computational capability we brought to bear, a new way of
dude, that's crazy.
Emerged. Generative AI, which is going to create new infrastructure dedicated to doing one thing and one thing.
Green guy isn't listening.
Not for multi-user data centers.
He needs to be punished.
But AI.
They need to punish the green guy. Torture him.
AI will create incredibly valuable software. A new industrial revolution.
The green one's kind of naughty, dude.
The computer of this
green ones need to be disciplined.
The computer of this generation, generative AI.
Put the green one in the ground. He needs to pull a gun and shoot the green one and tell the orange one, say, this is what happens if you don't listen to me.
Insane amounts of computers.
That's what needs to happen.
Third, I'm trying to concentrate. Good job. Third, new computer creates new types of software. New type of software should be distributed in a new way so that it can, on the one hand, be an endpoint in the cloud and easy to use, but still...
Yeah, the anti-Semitism robot.
Because it is your intelligence. Your intelligence should be packaged up in a way that allows you to take it with you. We call them NIMs. And third, these NIMs are going to help you create a new type of application for the future.
What if he kicks the bot?
Not one that you wrote completely from scratch, but you're going to...
And it calls the police. I should have that.
Teams create these applications. We have a fantastic capability between NIMs, the AI technology, the tools, NeMo, and the infrastructure DGX Cloud in our AI Foundry to help you create proprietary applications, proprietary chatbots. And then lastly, everything that moves in the future will be
that green one is disciplined.
You're not going to be the only one. And these robotic systems,
green one needs help,
whether
dude.
they are humanoid, AMRs, self-driving cars,
the green one needs to get it together.
Manipulating arms, they will all need one thing. Giant stadiums, warehouses, factories. There can be factories that are robotic, orchestrating factories, manufacturing lines that are robotics, building cars that are robotics. These systems all need one thing. They need a platform.
Dude, that green one needs to be disciplined.
A digital twin platform, and we call that.
They need to discipline the green one.
The operating
it's out of control
of the robotics world. These are the 5 things that we talked about.
Green one is 4chan, orange one is Reddit.
Like?
Yeah.
What does Nvidia look like? When we talk about GPUs, there's a very different image that I have when people ask me about GPUs. First, I see a bunch of software stacks and things like that. And second, I see this. This is what we announced to you today. This is Blackwell. This is the
all right, show me the GPU, dude.
Amazing, amazing processors, NVLink switches, networking systems, and the system design is a miracle. This is Blackwell, and this to me is what a GPU looks like in my mind.
If I was in the crowd, I'd yell,
Orange,
attack,
green.
orange.
I think we have one more treat for everybody. What do you think? Should we? Okay, we have one more thing to show you. Roll it.
Dude, that's crazy. My AI video, watch. Classic. Is this real or is it AI? Blackwell GPUs. Grace CPU. Bluefield DPU. The next 800G InfiniBand SuperNIC. Is this real, chat? NVLink switch chip. NVLink spine. GB200. I haven't covered the rabbi yet, no. We're gonna watch that after this. Liquid cooling system. Give me the graphics card, dude. DGX SuperPod. Check Telegram, this is fake AF? No, dude, this is real. Bro, is that an Indian? Whoa. Asians are so funny, dude. Oh my science.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great GTC. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
So what happened? What did we learn? What about the GPUs, dude? Hello? Where's the GPU? Where's the consumer GPU, dude? Is there an upcoming event? Bro, come on.